Hello there folks and welcome to the stream. My name is Mike D'Angelo, aka That Tellest Guy, and we are back today looking at our 6th mountain map. We did a lot of work yesterday to kind of scooch things over and down from the other 2 maps that we had. Now we're going to be working a little bit more on like the terrain that's going to make up the watery path here. So we're just going to keep going to it. I already did a little bit of prep work for it and figured out like where the shape of the cliffs from the mountain waterfall map existed. So let's keep things going. Right now we're going at a stamp scale of 20 because the stamp scale on the individual map was 40. So we don't have to do anything too crazy there. Let's bump this above the path though, so that I can get that out of here. And again, you could use the path tool for this if you really wanted to. I don't want to do that, so that's why I'm not doing it. I explained it yesterday. I like the path tool to some extent when it comes to this kind of stuff, but for the purposes of what I'm doing in this map series, I wanted to keep things consistent. So that's why we're doing things this way. And Rana, if you're on, could you do me a huge favor? Could you let me know if my chat is working? My stuff is a little bit weird right now, so I want to see if anything comes through. It says welcome to the chat room twice. It says testing. Woo! Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, and I also have to hydrate, evidently. Well, thank you. I should have hydrated before because I did some audio recording prior to this and my lips are awful smacky. I may need to record some pickup lines. Not that. Not like pickups. 38,000 coin thingies. Well, it's going to be really good once you get to the Quantum Quest stuff. Hey, sailor. Howdy, sailor. Yappy dog. That's a pickup line. Excuse me. I'm just happy that I said the word Puig right. Puig. So after this, we're going to maybe build out a couple more cliffs. And then I'm going to have to figure out some of the blending that we need to do. Maybe we'll do the blending first before we do the water. Well, it worked out. That one's got a flip, and we're done. All right, so we got 52 changes. We put together the shape of how all that's going to go. Let's we're going to do a real quick save. Hopefully it is actually pretty quick. All right, let's do this stuff over here first. So this is all going to be wrong anyway, but what we can do is, I don't know why it does that, like why it zooms this in, but whatever. It's no sweat. Let's keep doing our stuff. So we just kept zooming further and further out. Let's see if if I was on the foreground. Let's move the opacity to something like 50. I think that does make sense. I think it was that we were going up first and then down. Should technically be bigger up here. Let's do one more pass, and that should be a nice blend. And if we need to fix it later, we can. Okay, and then here at the other side down here, we're going to step one step further down, and we'll keep getting a little bit darker with the way that we're doing things. Do a little bit of it on those edges too. Still want a little bit of greenery coming through. Although certainly there it doesn't look like a lot's coming through. So maybe we do another quick pass, darken it up a little bit more. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as over there, especially because this is a completely different side of the mountain. Okay, we're going to take another step back. Let's bump this opacity up to, let's do 60. And I want that a little bit darker than the one above it, so we're going to do one more little pass. And I think that's the cracks. We need to come back to the cracks later. Let's bump it up to 65. And again, we don't have to make it exactly the same as the other side. This is different. It's over by water. There might be a little bit more lushness because there's water kind of streaming into the air. Down here you can see there's a little bit more greenery too anyway. Keep it going. Oh, you know what? Let's bump it up to 75. Bump it back down to 70 for this last one. Oop. 75 is fine. I need to go to that one. This is 70. Okay, and there we go. A little bit there too. All right, so we got this good now, and let's go into, you know what I did, I think, overstep a little. Maybe I didn't. Let's go back up here. We're going to throw a little bit of that there. And if it's wrong, it's wrong. We'll fix it later. All right, so we got a good shape here. Let's do one more step down. And we're going to bring this to 25. I'm going to do a little bit more around the edges of the mountain, just because I do want it to be a little bit more rocky around here. And even over here, we'll throw some stuff together. And we're going to go get the cracks. I'm going to throw these into a few places. Let's start with up here. Oh, you know what? Let's do a 50 opacity so that we see that coming through a little bit better. want it everywhere, I just want it in a few places. And I definitely want a little bit of it over here. Alright, so we're good there. 94 changes is a lot. Let's hit save. And we'll end up going to our sponsor in about 3 minutes or so when we go to our second map that we're going to be working on in the evening. Tomorrow is Thursday, and I usually like to have our maps hit Patreon 2 days a week. So I would like to kind of start working on that and have something ready for me to just do some light work tomorrow. Set that to about 25. Have a couple of trees over here. You know what I also noticed? Let's go back to the brushes real quick. We had this kind of like little greenery here and there, so let's try and get them in here too. It'll help to kind of make it look a little bit more vibrant and nuanced and stuff like that. Looks like it's growing within the cracks and everything. I feel like we definitely need something else up here. Let's see if we can't. Oop, I don't want to do that though. Let's see if we can't grab another rock or something that we can throw up here that looks the part. Let's grab a big boulder or something. I don't want it to be quite that big, so we're going to mess with the shadow a little bit. We'll just call it a 30% shadow. Still up there, not quite as big as these rocks here. And we'll probably figure something out. Right now that feels a little too empty for me, but we'll figure it out. Let's get rid of the paths because I don't need the paths anymore. All right, problem solved. And now we just have to later figure out where to how to blend the water in to make it look the right way. So let's do another save. While we're saving, let's take a look at our sponsor. So we'll be back in about 45 seconds. And now, a word from our sponsors. If you could walk into dreams and explore them like they were another world, what would you do? It's a premise that author Tom Crowan tackles in his wonderful debut, The Rift Beyond Dreams, the first book in his Dreams of Drna series. Whether it's long-established lore of the world or the magic and majesty of the way Reverie works in the series, everything feels so rich and immersive. And though this story dives into deep notions and explores a lot of questions of the psyche, it's interspersed with interesting revelations, breezy action, and fun character moments that keep it moving along at a very nice pace. The best part is that this is just the start of this spectacular journey, with more from Crowan's wonderful world on the way. Check out our promo for The Rift Beyond Dreams, Dreams of Drna, Book 1, on the Tellest website. Alright, so we are back at our other map for the, or a second map for the evening. This is the Pirate Cove Cavern Entrance. So we've previously done this before. We did a little bit of work trying to figure out some of the things that we were going to do in this map. We have our 4 points of interest in this case, which is going to be the, we've got like a kind of pseudo ghost light lantern down here, which is going to, if the players light it, it'll illuminate something in this room for them. The bridge itself is technically a point of interest if you need it to be. We also have this message written in blood. I can't remember what I wrote. It could be whatever you want. And then what we decided to do was down here, I threw together some cracks because in theory, if you want, there's going to be a little cavern underneath here that you can get into by way of, on the south map, there was a little it was an underwater cave. I was going to try and say submarine, but yeah, what we could do is have like a another version of this map that has, you know, like everything else kind of faded out, and then just have like a little area over here where you could dig your way up if you wanted to sneak into the cavern that way. Like if you had, as a game master, you could have like a, you know, a guard, you know, over here, and you could swim underneath and get to it instead. I threw a little mana ray in here because we don't really ever have any mana rays, and I thought that would be nice. But this is pretty much the map as we have it and as we need it. What we're going to have to do now is do a couple of variants, because I do need some variants for the map that we're going to be working on. So let's we'll start with the easy one. We're going to do an unfurnished version. And this one we'll do two of them actually. We'll do one that has none of the crates or anything, and then we'll do one that doesn't have the bridge either. The bridge is kind of integral to the kind of shape and feel of the map, but it doesn't necessarily have to be there. You know, you could figure out other ways to get further off in this cave and everything. So let's just start off with, get rid of the manta. Because the idea of like the unfurnished bit is you don't want to have to worry about anything necessarily. Okay, and let's get rid of all these crates. Oop. Yeah, for some reason there was a crate up here and I don't know why, but it was there. Let's see, we've got a lot of cliffs and stuff, but those are kind of integral to everything here. Waves, cliffs, rocky rubble, blah, 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 blah. I threw together the lava cracks over here and made them look a little bit more natural. So, let's see. Technically, we're going to want to get rid of the top layer stuff, so let's erase that too. Unless I didn't do it there. I did it on brush layer 4. That's how you do that. I don't remember what that is there. Let's go to the land tool. Yep, that's what it was. A little bit of land that was not actually present. All right, so we have, that was really quick. Let's do a real quick save. And actually, before we go and immediately remove the bridge, let's do, this is going to be the most unfurnished version of any of our maps as we ever have. Let's do a really clean sweep real quick. So we're going to do another clone. We're just going to call it clean. And we'll get rid of the rubble too. Yeah, clean it up and make it look a little bit different. I like to give people a few different options, so. Hello. All right, so let's grab these guys. These guys. And rubble piles, and let's see how things look after that. Oh god. Matt says, sorry I'm late. I am dumb, and I have a new computer that is getting its first ever updates. Mr. Moneybags over here getting on his stuff. Officially become out farther. Yep. Dad would like to collect things. Alright, that's pretty clean now. So let's do one more save and then we're going to drop out. We're going to do a version of the unfurnished that's dirty. No, it's not mine. This one is Becka Tigress. She's the one who's helping us do our first adventure. So this is going to be 4 maps. It's the cavern entrance, or I'm sorry, the cove entrance that we saw down. Well, I'll show you the, when I step out, I'll show you what the basic ones look like. And I'll ungrid it for you. So this is the original. Or else it is a... Screw you, dude. I don't know why you're taking so long. This was the... I'll show you the actual outside map so you could at least see what that looked like. So that is what the actual entrance looks like. And after that, we have the one that I was just working on. So let's go back to the maps. And again, let's try and see if... I don't know why that darn thing isn't showing, but let's try and edit it and see if it comes up. See if it plays nice. The only thing... She did 4 maps for this area. She did the entrance, what I'm calling the cavern entrance, which is the second one. The third one is where the ship is, and then the fourth one is kind of, it's very like open, and I think I need to kind of redo that because it feels a little bit too open, and I'll show you what I mean since you're actually watching. So this is my 4 points of interest map. I have the line of lanterns here, and this one here, if you light it, it'll show something that's like hidden, like it's magically hidden. The bridge is the second point of interest. I've got some stuff written on the walls in blood, and then down here I've got some cracks that you can either dig down into or dig up from. So, and then I'll show you those other 2 maps since we're here. So this is the ship chamber. Awesome POIs. So this is the third map. The whole idea is like this ship has gotten stuck in the cove, and there is an item in the hold that, yeah, Goonies vibes is a very good way of putting it. There's a statue in the hold that you are supposed to kind of like liberate and get it to like an ambassador, or royalty or a noble or something. No, this one hasn't been tweaked at all. You're supposed to get that to someone across the sea. This group of pirates or merchants or whoever never got to it, and they got stuck here. And the problem is the aquatic humanoids in the area have begun to kind of treat the statue inside as like a blessed object. So if you try to take it, they'll attack you. And the idea is that once you try that, they attack the ship and the ship starts to sink. So you have to try and figure out like how you're going to get the statue out while the boat is sinking. So this map is cool. And then the final map in the series is this one here, which is a little bit weird. Like I said, it's very open. And what I might try and do... Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of maps that I have to post on Reddit, and I think it might be next week actually that the next task on my list starts, which is to advertise these maps. And I stopped probably like 40 maps ago. So there's every week I'll try and advertise like 2 maps or something like that. But yeah, this map here, I think what I'd like to try and do is maybe build out like walls and make it feel a little less open. Right now it just kind of feels like we threw stuff into place, and I don't necessarily want to do that. So yeah, in fact, Matt, if you want, you could even try a stab at this, since I can give you what already exists, and then you can kind of play around with it, and it would be like a nice kind of first jump back into the maps since however long. And it'll be nice to have the 3 of us kind of collaborating on this set. And then I don't know if you saw it, Matt. Did you see the lighthouse map that we put together that went live yesterday? You might have seen this map already. I think you did. Yeah, we did just a tiny bit of work on our main. Well, technically, this is still our main one, but we did a version of it that is dynamic water and threw like a little bit of extra texture down here and stuff like that. But I know you saw the mangrove forest, the swamp, whatever. So those ones are done. I tweaked the jungle flora maps a little bit. We've got a couple of other maps that are coming. The map that I started with today was the oh, you haven't seen the treehouse. I should show you the treehouse. The 6th map in the mountain set I've been working on. So this one was done. This one up here was done. So this is the new. This area here is what I'm working on. So, but I think that'll kind of wrap us up for today. You and I are going to collaborate on something else after this, so we'll do kind of a. I mean, 30 minutes is about where we're going to run once we're done with the closing. So let's see what we got. So, folks, on the screen right now, you should see all the places that you can find Tellest out there on the internet. Tellest.com is a great first place to start. It'll bring you to all of our other projects. We do have 3 sites that you can go to for our map projects. Patreon.com/Tellest is where you can get all of our maps at one time by giving us a monthly subscription. $5 will get you gridded and gridless versions of our maps in high res, and $10 a month will get you the variant versions of our maps. And we are pretty much averaging the recent maps between 6 and 7 variants, so it's a pretty good value. Tellest.etsy.com is kind of low key right now because we don't have the cloth maps currently being worked on. Hopefully they change that. They said that they were going to announce something this month, but we are about halfway through the month and still haven't heard anything. Battlemapfantasy.com is where you can get all of our maps a la carte. Right now, we have 200 items, maybe it's like 190 or something like that, that are 80% off through next Wednesday. So it's a good it's a good time to go over there and get your maps. We have 2 TikTok channels that you should check out, at Tales of Tellest, where you can check out our doggies, and at Weird Witch Wands, where you can find all of the stuff that Rihanna's working on for her Weird Witch Wands brand. And then we have 2 video channels that you should check out as well. YouTube.com/@WorldOfTellest is going to be the place where you can find all of the Tellest branded content. As far as videos go, we'll have, the making maps, the talking Tellests, and soon the tabletop Thursdays are going to resume. And we have other plans for things that we're going to be doing in the future as well. But you can also go to twitch.tv/thattellestguy to chat with us live, like Matt and Rihanna did with us earlier, and to earn your quest coins, because we are right around the corner from bringing back Quantum Quest Live and doing some pretty cool stuff with that. But that is going to wrap us up tonight. We are going to try and see if we can do Talking Tellest tomorrow, because we missed Monday. Monday we were doing a little bit of recovery from the convention earlier this weekend, so we're going to try and make that up for you tomorrow. But until then, I miss you.